Hello. Don't know if people can hear me. Let me say hi to whoever is here already. There's quite a few of you, actually. Keto Girl, Purple Panda, Ashley Francesca, Electra McCain, Tiva, Emily Matt, Kelsey Lovato, Maya the B, Kristen Meza, Janet, Susanna, Mukbang Anonymous, Rita, Natalie. Quite a lot of familiar faces. Anastasia, Parvi, Amy, Anu, Julie, Suzanne Bow. Wow, lots of people trickling in. Hey guys. Wims448, Andrea, Miasia, Caroline, Harika Lauren, Petja, Bogana, Lely T. Hey guys, how are we all doing? Got some more coming in. Gypsy Wolf, Kristen Meza, Julia Chapel. Alice is lost in Wonderland. Rachel Creates. You're in the car. Hey Teresa, how are you doing? Velika, hey Velika. We're training tomorrow, guys. So that's gonna be. I'm vlogging it all because I have somebody to help film me, and she's gonna come training with me. So we're gonna do back and glutes. It's a last minute change of plans because I had a posing session with Anastasia. I'm doing well, thank you. I'm actually doing pretty good. I was pretty tired. I had a nap this afternoon. I had a beastly quad session. I was going to say leg session, but quads, legs is the same thing. I had a very intense quad session and it wiped me out. Basically I had a posing session, literally an hour or so, just over an hour ago, with Wellness Pro, a UK one, just to learn posing. I learned a lot. She was very good. And basically she's like, you need to stop training upper body until the show. And basically, even if you want to do wellness seriously, you need to not train upper body so much. So I wasn't really going to train much upper body. And she's like, I won't train it at all. She's like, if I was you, I would train legs 4 to 5 times a week, basically. So that's what we're going to do. But tomorrow we're going to do a little bit of back, just a little. And otherwise it's going to be glutes, isolation glutes. Because I need to build up like the shelf part, the upper glute, the glute medial. So I've just been looking to see what exercises are good for that. So, then we have a second. I have an interview in 30. I need to mentally prepare. Well, good luck, Yoga Bish. Good luck with that. I hope it goes well. Happy birthday, Canterbury. I hope you'll have a nice day. Your apartment looks so cozy. It is. I've got like loads of candles and stuff on. It's nice. And I've got two of my doggies sleeping here. Hi, Crapper Soul. Zoe Win. What? What's what? Never ending leg days. Yeah, basically. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, and I need to maybe start training some abs because I don't really train my abs, but I might start doing that. And I need to really start learning how to vacuum pose because I have a tendency to let my gut go. So I need to learn how to do vacuums and keep the vacuum basically throughout the poses. Lateral movements, abduction stuff in all ranges, bent forward, upright, reclined. Oh, thanks for the recommendation, Yoga Bish. All these leg days make me want to do wellness. Yeah, to be honest, I'm not even bothered by it. I really like leg day. Will you put Christmas things in your apartment? I absolutely will. But BB Dutchie, not yet though. Probably mid-November, end of November I will. But yeah, I like decorating for seasons. You're going to have a big old peach. And I mean that in a good way, yes. What will you put in the picture frames? What's my shookness about the training changes? Yes. I don't know yet. Probably pictures of my dogs. I guess I need to print them off, but yeah, I'm thinking pictures of my dogs. Margie White, hello, and everybody else, hello, welcome. Did your new bikini come? No, they're not going to send it until the 25th of October, so I just hope that customs will clear it in time because it's a bit annoying when they don't. They're a bit of a pain in the ass because my stuff from Greg Dissette's stuck in customs as well. They're like, we need an invoice. And I'm like, I didn't pay it. It's been sent to me to review. And they're like, yeah, but we need an invoice because I can't clear it. I'm like, yeah, but I didn't pay for it. So I can't give you proof of payment. It doesn't work like that. So I think I'm just going to have to send them like basically over the correspondence and they'll have to try and like clear it some way or another because it's been there for fucking ages now. Yesterday, it was my fiance's birthday. We just got engaged last weekend. Mukbang Anonymous. Oh, congratulations. But a picture of me. Yeah, I could do that too. Will your bikini change when you do wellness? Yeah, so wellness bikinis. Let me start putting the questions up here actually. Wellness bikinis are not crossback. I don't know if my bottoms are. I think my bottoms are the bottoms that I had for the other show, which should be fine, as in like the shape. But normally the wellness bottoms, they've already started making the bikini when I emailed her, the bottom part. I think normally they're a bit smaller, but sometimes you get marked down on it if your bikini bottoms are too small because they don't like it when they're too much of a string. So, but usually they kind of sit over the glute anyway, so it should be fine. But yeah, no, it's not crossback, it's just a normal bikini. So yeah. Kelsey Levat is working on dog tags whilst listening to the stream. Oh yeah, thank you. Kelsey's making me some custom dog tags, which is really lovely. I heard that you're a huge inspiration every time I work out. I think of your drive and discipline, and it pushes me. Oh, thank you very much. There's a discipline. I was going to call you discipline, Meredith. Can it just be labeled as gifts for customs? I think it can. But I don't know if that's not what they did or not. I'm not sure. Wellness bottoms have to have a V shape. I think they all have V shapes anyway, though. Like, I think the only suits that sometimes are different is like for figure. Sometimes they cover more of the glute. But most nowadays, you don't even see that nowadays in figure anymore. The old school fitting. How the girls doing with food aggression? It's okay sometimes. It's just Rosie gets a bit like aggressive with food sometimes, but I think the other day she was just in a bit of pain, to be honest, so she's a bit moody. When the competition ends, how will your fitness and diet change? Is it a hard transition? Yeah, it can be, because you've kind of just been hyper focused and your life has basically revolved around training and dieting and competing for like 12 weeks. It will be for me 13 weeks in total, and then that's not there anymore. So what I normally do is I just kind of reverse out of it. I'll have like a couple of meals here and there throughout the week that I enjoy, but for the most part, I'll eat the same. I just scale back on my cardio initially and then gradually up the calories. Depending on how I do in the show, I might just have a pretty serious off season. I've never really actually had a serious off season where I really tried to grow. I just trained for fun in my off season and I just eat healthy because it's good. But I've never been like quite strict, so I might actually have a very strict off season and see what growth I can do, and then try again competing next year. Asia Timmons, thank you for the super chat. That's much appreciated. I just want to support you and tell you are amazing. I'm so happy to see you in a better mental state. I wish you all the best in life and will always be a supporter. Oh, thank you. That's very sweet. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm in a pretty good mental state. I'm just tired a lot from training, but that's normal, like pushing your body. And I'm sleeping. My sleep is becoming bad too. I'll go to sleep at around 10 o'clock and I'll wake up basically every night at around 3. So this is why sometimes I what's it called? I end up having a nap on the sofa during lunch. Start with a bang. Try asking Greg Steen for a statement on a zero balance invoice for a review package to show customs. That's let me take a picture of that actually, because I'll forget otherwise. But I'll see if they can do that. Indeed, that's a good idea. Thank you for the recommendation. You mentioned in a prior video using taurine to back pumps. Do you use it regularly? I use it mostly for when I know I'm going to have days where I'm going to be doing things like deadlifts, or I'm going to do a lot of glute work, because I get back pumps then. It helps with that, and it kind of helps with cramping as well, which with the fat burner that I take, sometimes you can get cramping, so the taurine helps with that too. Was your coach surprised by the fact that you have to move to wellness? Yes and no. I think now we're seeing myself in the post. Pardon me. I take melatonin for sleeping. Yeah, it doesn't work. I mean, it works a little, but no, I do take it. I think now we're seeing myself in the posing. It makes sense because the reality is that I know that some people seem to be under the impression that I'm like extremely muscular, but I'm nowhere near big enough for figure. Like, believe it or not, compared for the pros, I'm nowhere near muscular enough. Like, these girls are like 5'3", and they're like 62 kilos ripped at like 10% body fat, something like that, 12% body fat. I'm 5'7" at maybe like 14% body fat now. So they are several inches shorter than me. And I have like not even 10 pounds, or maybe just over 10 pounds on them. No, that's a lie. So if they're they're 5'3" and they're like 62, 60. Yeah, so they're 20 pounds. I have around 20 pounds on them. If I lost like 10 kilos of fat, I wouldn't be that big at all. There wouldn't be much left of me, which is how much I would have to lose to be like that. Like not to be pro, to be, I think to be conditioned for figure the way they are in the pro stage, I would probably have to get to like 68 kilos, 67 kilos maybe. But to be 67 kilos at like 10% body fat at 5'7" is not the same as being like 62, 63 kilos at 5'3". Like height makes a massive difference. What are your measurements? I have no idea. I have no idea what our measurements are. I think I've measured my hip for my bikini, and I think I was 97 centimeters across the widest part of the glute. I think it was something like that. Yeah. I really hope you don't go figure, because it's just too many juicy vitamins. Well, that's the thing. If I were to turn pro, I would have to take a lot of gear to like grow enough through the lats, because I'm just not wide enough. It's just some people don't understand how muscularity works, and that they are stupid. They're exceptional. Some people were suggesting that I should do physique. It's like I just have to laugh because it's just so ridiculous. Physique women are like, for me to be a physique competitor, they're under 10% body fat. I would have to probably be 75 kilos lean on stage. I would have to pack on like 10 kilos of muscle, maybe more than that. Probably more than that, because Cindy Londold, actually, I love her. I adore her body. She is, let me have a look. She's my height. Actually, she's a little bit taller. She's a couple of centimeters taller. And she is basically, I'll put my phone on airplane. She is basically a figure girl, basically. And she weighs 75 kilos. So to become physique, you'd have to be even bigger. Are you not separating in categories based on height? Or were there just too few people in the category? Too few people in the category for the show that I did. But yes, for women, it does go on height if there's a lot of participants. For sure. Why is my thing not doing it? When you go fat burners, where you gain weight back, is it a disadvantage to fat burners, water retention possibly? I take them 1 week on, 1 week off anyway. So I don't think so. And that's to keep it effective. So these fat burners, if you take them for 2 weeks or 3 weeks in a row, they stop working. Or you have to up the dose for it to become, to remain effective. So yeah, that's why I take 1 week on, 1 week off. But no, not really. I think all of it is just diet. They do help a little bit. They just help you like get over sticking points more than anything. Is there a disadvantage? Yeah, they give you, like, sometimes they can give you, like, they can make you feel a bit anxious. And they obviously raise your heart rate. So it's not good for that. You don't want to be raising your heart rate. Let's see if I can find a good picture of her. All right, so this girl, like, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that good? She is like 70. She's my height. Look how fucking shredded she is. That's figure lean. And she's 75 kilos. I'm nowhere near, like, she's a figure, like, she used to, I don't think she actually competed, but she is figure size. She's massive. Like, that's 75 kilos. She's much bigger than what I am, but yeah. You got to be hella shredded for wellness. Yes, the thing is, people, for wellness, it actually says in the criteria that you're not allowed to have deep lines and striations, but they are absolutely shredded. So what they do instead is when they are on stage, they just don't flex the muscles. That's it. Is there a difference between spray tan? No, normally speaking, you just get the same spray tan done at the venue. Now, some people do take the tablets or the injections to get darker skinned. But no, normally speaking, you just use the same tan. And like some tans are actually banned from certain shows because they're too messy. But normally you use the same tan. But obviously some people will look darker than others because they just their base layer, their base coat is darker. Figures getting so bigger in the years. Some figure chicks have moved to bikini because they don't want to get bigger. Erin Stern. I think Ava Cohen did that. It's crazy. Figure is like, I think people don't realize like how muscular they are. I am nowhere near muscular enough to be. If you put me next to like an actual figure pro, they would fucking monster me. I look big because of the fact that I'm really tall and I'm very wide framed. So like I have a large bone structure. Like I'm generally big bone because my clavicles are very wide. Like I have big bones, but I'm not like, I am muscular, but I'm not like that muscular compared to like a figure pro. They are insane. They are insanely massive. Are you planning to continue training for wellness in off season, or do you plan to take a break from shows? No, honestly, it depends. It really depends on how I do and what the feedback is from the judges. This woman that I had posing with, she was quite complimentary too, but I don't know if she just says that because, you know, I'm like, she's helping me with her posing, but like she's helping me with posing and I'm paying her. But I suppose she didn't have to say it. But then I don't know. I never know. I never really trust people when they say things. But the criteria for wellness is that basically you need to have a more developed lower body from upper body, which is the case for me. My upper body is not proportionate to my lower body, which has to be, the proportions are very key with figure. So figure is more of a Y shape, so you're kind of straight through the legs. And then like you just have really wide lats and really big delts. I don't have that. I'm more hourglass shaped, and my lats and delts are not dominant enough compared to my legs. So that's the first criteria. The second is that it's basically that you're not supposed to have hard lines and striations, but that's just posing. And the third one is that you need to have an athletic physique. But what's an athletic physique? Like, that can be anything, right? So it's kind of like the criteria are a bit vague. The posing is a bit vague because when I was doing the posing, I was saying, I saw on the Olympia they were doing this pose, but I like this pose, front pose, and she said yes. I noticed that too. That's something that's literally come in this year. But wellness only competed, I believe, for the first time in the Olympia this year. This is the first time they've done it for the Olympia, so it's been around for a while in South America. And it's started to come up in Europe for the last couple of years. But in terms of it being recognized as an actual category in NPC and IFBB, it's pretty recent. When you were adjusting your carbs and explaining glycogen stores, I decided to eat some carbs Wednesday, and this bike ride was so much better. Yeah, I'm sure it will be if your carbs are energy, aren't they? So it will do that. So you're going to concentrate on legs for the next few weeks. I'm only going to train legs and some abs too. I'm not going to train upper body at all, except for maybe a tiny little bit of back. But basically, yeah, I'm just going to train legs. Nothing else. I think what I'll do is I'll probably make, maybe tomorrow or something like that, maybe I'll make a video showing the difference in the categories so that people can see. And I'll try and get some of the winners or the top three, like pull some statistics so I can go like, oh, well, here is like Ashley Cultwasser, who is like, I don't know if she won bikini this time around, but she did for many years. It's like she is 5'3" and she is 110 pounds, for example. And then I can be like, here's Sydney Gillen. And Sydney Gillen is like figure, which is like she's 5'3", and she competes at like I looked at it in kilos, but she is like 135, 140 pounds, something like that. And then you have Natalia Culo, or whatever her name is. She's physique. She is 5'3" as well. Everybody's short in bodybuilding. I'm an absolute giant in bodybuilding. She's 5'3", and she competes at like 150 pounds or 145 pounds. So that just shows like how 10 pounds of muscle makes a huge difference. And then you get female bodybuilding. And I don't know how tall Iris Carl is. I think she's quite tall. She's probably like 5'6" or something like that. And she probably competes at like 150, 155 pounds. So it makes a big difference. Does your height work against you? I always wondered that. I'm 5'10". It does and it doesn't. I mean, it does from the perspective of it's harder to put on size. It's harder to make a physique fill out. If you're shorter, it's much easier to build muscle and look big. Because like 10 pounds on me or 10 pounds on somebody that's like 5'2" is a difference, right? Because that 10 pounds has to be stretched out over a longer body. So this is why if a short person gains 10 pounds of fat, it's also a lot more noticeable than when a tall person gains 10 pounds of fat. Same goes with muscle. 10 pounds on me or 10 pounds on somebody else is a big difference. So it's a good thing because like you stand out. It's a bad thing because you stand out. So like it just depends. For the wellness thing, I think because the criteria are vague, like I just generally don't know what to expect. For this category, it may work in my favor because maybe they want that sort of more like Amazonian, that sort of like really tall look. I don't know what look they want. They don't know what look they want. It's a developing criteria category. Like the judges don't really know what they want. They just see it, and it's currently developing the posing, the physiques, the shape. If you look at figure from 5 years ago to figure now, it's not the same thing. If you looked at bikini when it first came in to bikini now, it's not the same thing. The figure girls from like maybe 10 years ago are like bikini girls now. And actually 10 years ago, the figure girls weren't even that lean. So it's constantly developing the categories, even as they are. You were so tall compared to the others. Yeah, I am always really tall in bodybuilding. Like most women are like 5'4", 5'3". That's like an average height. I'm in heels. I'm probably like 6 foot, close to 6 foot, something like that. I'm really tall in heels. So I would think I would be an advantage in looking lean and a higher body fat. Like looking lean has nothing to do with height. Like lean is just how you look. You know if you're lean by the definition you have. And actually, I look better before the show, not right before the show, but then after my salt bath and the morning off than I did on stage. I don't know what happened, but my physique just kind of slipped. And this is the thing as well with bodybuilding. It's like your physique, if you don't not plan something right, but if you get a bit stressed, I think maybe the tan reacted a little bit. That's what my coach reckons. Maybe it was just something that I ate. Maybe I had, maybe I just reacted bad to some of this sodium or something like that. You can go from looking really good to not looking nowhere near as, I didn't look bad, but like you can, your physique can just really change. And that's the whole point of peaking. Like you peak literally to look a certain way. And it's quite the science. If you mess it up, then you just don't look as good, basically. Do you know anybody in your group that has done wellness before? No, I don't know anybody because it's such a new category. I think they've been running it in UK shows for maybe the two bros. I think it's been around for like 2 years, if even that. It's a really new category. How's your back feeling? I mean, like it's achy, not from the pulled muscle. That luckily went away pretty much the next day. But it's achy in general, just posing. Because when you're doing a lot of wellness stuff, you're just constantly hyperextending through the lower back. So it's posing is very painful. It's not easy. You make it look easy, but it's not easy. What's your favorite category? Not to compete in, but just in general. Figure. I really like figure. I do like the physiques. I think it's much, but it's still feminine and it's balanced. But to be honest, I have to say, like, I'm kind of getting on the wellness train. I never really followed wellness, you see, until literally Sunday evening and Monday morning when I was like followed loads of Instagram accounts. And I like wellness too. Like, it's kind of like sexy, it's sassy. They are pretty hench. I think there's a really big misconception that wellness girls don't have upper bodies. They do. They are really muscular. It's just that they are a lot bigger through the lower body. It's just confusing that short males don't dominate. I don't know what that's in regard to. If you mean it on stage, I think most men are like 5'6". It's kind of an average height for male competitors. How often do you stretch? Get massage? Massage, barely ever. I stretch every day. I usually stretch before and after training. I have to, because if I don't, I'm just in absolute agony. I was at a bar in June and my server was a wellness competitor, and I was like, wow, she was a shorty, but swole as fuck. Didn't seem super shredded though, but very lean. What do you mean? Like, lean and shredded is basically the same thing almost. To me, like, I might not quite be understanding, but to me, shredded and lean are kind of the same thing. Shredded is like stage ready, and lean is like almost stage ready. I would say that, like, I'm lean now. Ideally, in 4 weeks' time, I'll be shredded, because I still have another 4 weeks of dieting. I think a lot of people don't realize that this, I was never going to look my best for this show. This show that I just did, it was more of a warm-up show to get feedback from the judges. Of course, I'll compete to win. Like, who doesn't? What's the point of doing What's the point of doing anything if you don't want to win? That's a competition, right? You do competition for winning. But equally, I knew that I wasn't gonna be bringing my best, because I still had like another 5 weeks of dieting on top of that, which is almost half of my prep. My prep is like 13 weeks. So, in total. So yeah, it's I still have another, this weekend, 4 weeks to go. But it's hard because, like, I've been weighing myself this whole week, and I actually cut my calories to like 2,200, and I've not lost any fucking weight yet. And I'm like, why? Like, I'm literally eating fish. I'm changing my diet. I'm eating 2,200 calories for like 2,800. That's like 500 calorie difference. But maybe my body needs to adjust. But also, I've been sleeping like shit, so it could just be that, because of that. Hey, little Rosie. Hey, miss. So you okay, girl? Rosie just loves to she always lays and sits with me. Always. If I lay on the sofa or anywhere, instantly she comes and lays with me. Do you think this first show will be like a warm-up trial run? Yeah, definitely. I'm just kind of curious to see what the look is that the judges are going for, just to test myself. Like, as a test to myself as well. Like, maybe I'll do well, but I'm gonna assume not. Realistically, if I get top 5, I'd be really impressed by that. And this show that I'm going to do next is a massive show. This is not like, this NPC show, the standard was high though. I'm not going to lie. Like, some of the guys are insane. And even the girls that I competed against, they didn't look bad. They didn't. They were really conditioned. Definitely. But some of the guys backstage, oh my word, they are going to turn pros 100%. Some of them were insane. Really, like, it was the first NPC show in Bulgaria, but I can guarantee next year they'll have pro qualifiers. This will become a very big show in the next couple of years, and I think it will become it's a Balkan Grand Prix, so it is international, but it will definitely become international. But this one that I'm doing in Romania is one of the biggest European shows. It's like doing Arnold. This is not a fucking like, play around show. This is real deal. So even just like competing in it is good. If there's like 15 girls competing and you get like top 10 or top 7, that's freaking amazing. But, I'm sure some people will have to say something. I wish I lived close to you so we could have dinner and champagne. Yeah, that would be cool. Like, I had such a good time with that girl that I met there was a subscriber. She was really cool. I will probably, once the shows are done and I have some more spare time, I'll probably go up and see her again in Sofia and just rent an apartment with the dogs. I want to start doing stuff like that anyway. Once I'm not competing, just travel around and meet subscribers and just get out with the dogs, because, like, I don't have to just stay here. Just go and train in different gyms, meet people. I like doing stuff like that. Were shows cancelled last year? I think so, but to be honest, I don't really know, because I wasn't really into competing. But some shows got cancelled. Some people had to undergo like different testings, guess like certain like clearances and stuff like that. But yes, some shows were cancelled, but I don't know which ones got cancelled. Come to the US, yeah, I would have to fly with the dog, so it's hard. What's the plan for losing more body fat and putting on more muscle? Realistically, I'm probably not really gonna build any muscle, because I'm in like a big deficit and I am getting lean. So even with performance enhancers, like, I think I'm looking to just basically maintain what I have. Maybe I'll build a little bit of glute and a little bit of quad, for the simple reason that I haven't trained like that ever. I joined another gym in Burgos that has a lot of really cool leg day equipment. It has like the kickback machines, the plate load. It has a hip drive. It's got different sort of hack squats. It has a lot of really crazy leg day equipment. So I think just by changing up my training and really pounding the legs 4 times a week, I might be able to get a bit of growth, but it's not going to be anything insane. Like I'm lucky to maybe get if I'm getting a couple of 100 grams, I'm lucky. To burn muscle, to burn fat, is just a case of staying in a caloric deficit. So if by Sunday or Monday, if I've not really lost any weight, I'm gonna up my cardio. So my cardio at the moment is 20 minutes of high intensity with half an hour of steady state plus dog walking. But I might just turn that into an hour in the afternoon and 20 minutes, an hour of steady state and 20 minutes post workout of intervals, basically. So do a lot of cardio, and then after that, just try and drop the calories if that's still not working. Because on these last 4 weeks, I'm prepared to fucking suffer and dig deep and really push myself. And maybe it's just that I've come to like a bit of a sticking point as well. And it happens sometimes when you're dieting. Like I'm 72 kilos, which is not a lot for my height. I mean, like it is a lot for my height, but I'm pretty lean, you know. If I'm not walking all the time and training my legs, I do get veins through my legs now. I do have veins through my abs. So yeah, it's just maybe a sticking point that I need to get over. Maybe start doing sweatsuit cardio. So question, in the past, caloric intake has been less than your increased amount per show. Why are you losing so much weight and hunger with that amount? Are the workouts, why are you losing so much weight and hunger with that amount? In the past, the caloric intake has been less. Oh yeah, I think it's just because I had basically before, I didn't eat to a meal plan and I didn't eat keto. Like I just really respond very well to that. On top of that, I have an increased energy output with the added cardio that I'm doing, and my training has intensified. And I'm also using performance enhancers and fat burners. So a performance enhancer and a fat burner, and that will also help with just speeding up the metabolism. So I just have a really fast metabolism. Like I find that anyway, that whenever I start dieting and I'm super strict, my metabolism really speeds up, and I can eat a little bit more. That's probably why. Do you have a goal weight for your show, or does it not really matter? It doesn't really matter, but I think realistically, I need to weigh in show day, I think, to be proper shredded, because I weighed in for this show 71.2 or 71.5. I think I need to be like 68.5. So realistically, I need to lose around 2 kilos of fat. I don't need to lose 2 kilos. I need to lose 2 kilos of fat. And that's when I think I'll be just like the level of shredded that I need to be. I need to be at around 70 kilos before I start doing my peak week. So that once I do the dehydrating, I weigh myself in the morning. And I'm like 68, 69. That's what I think. You're making me want to prep. You're not prepping. Not yet. I was just about to ask if growing them is something you are going to try and do. Yeah, basically, I'm going to just train a lot of legs. And even in my off-season now, I have an excuse to train a lot of legs. Because I haven't really trained my quads this whole prep. And even before that, I wasn't really training them a lot. My focus was more to bring up my hamstrings. That's been my biggest focus, is to bring up my hamstrings and a little bit of glutes, obviously. But I've not really actually sat down and tried to focus on just growing lower body. So, and I think that's probably what I'll do in the off season too. Is it your birthday yet? Good, Dude Gazer. No, it's on the 4th of November, and I probably will live stream because what the fuck else am I going to do? Nothing, right? It's not like I can go out for dinner or drink alcohol. So yeah, I'll probably just have a live stream and celebrate with you guys. That's what I'm thinking. And do you think it's gotten older? Do you think it's having gotten older that your body has changed so much? No, it's nothing to do with age. I've always been heavy in the lower body. My dad always used to call my legs hummertjes, like hams. I've always had a bigger lower body. It's just the way my body proportions are. Sounds like a bit much. It's not really though.
I need to be fucking lean. I need to not. It's not a case of like, oh yeah, like look lean. Like these women are shredded. They are peeled as fuck. They are so lean. It's ridiculous. It's not like, oh, you may think it's like, oh, it's a soft look on stage. It's not. They are shredded. How many people do they judge and narrow down? It depends. If it's like, it depends on how many competitors there are. So if there's like 30 wellness girls, they'll probably break it up into height classes. If there's only 10, they might break it up into height classes, or they might just do it as one big class. Kristen Mensa. Yay, birthday live stream. I'll celebrate in Paris. That sounds like a fantastic place to be celebrating. I've actually never been to Paris. How many judges are there for the shows? Usually speaking, it's like between 5 to 8, something like that. I did have a PO box, but I don't anymore. But I know who you are. So if you want to send me something, just DM me and I'll give you my address. That's fine. But yeah, no, not anymore. I wonder for ages where the other competitors in the last show I wondered what the age is. So the woman that won my class, I think she was probably like in her 40s, to be honest. She was a bit older, I think. But sometimes it's hard to say because when people take a lot of gear, it ages them too. She took a lot of gear, I could tell by her voice. And the other one, I guess she was probably my age, maybe. Something like that. But again, it's hard to say. Is judging political? It can be. I don't know if it necessarily wasn't this show. A lot of people saying like I should have won, but I think looking back on it, the thing is in real life and the pictures you see, it's like first of all the pictures that I uploaded, they're not necessarily the best quality, and the video is not the best quality. But in real life, that girl that won, she was the most conditioned, and sometimes for figure, that's just what they're looking for, whoever is the leanest. But I think they just placed me last because of the fact that I wasn't as conditioned as the other two, which is fact. And on top of that, they figured I would do better in a different category. So, it is what it is. If you're like a bikini competitor, but you're trying to do figure, or if you're like a female bodybuilder and you're trying to do bikini, you're just not going to place as well. So, we talked about this already, dude Gazer, but I can say again. So I think it depends. It can work in my benefit. It can work against me because I'll stand out, which is a good thing, or you're just drawing attention to yourself. So it's a good and bad thing. Yeah. My dad said some things that were probably not the best thing to say to teenage girls, developing teenage girls. But it's just like, they can be a bit blunt sometimes. I know you weren't there. That's why I recapped it. So that's fine. Don't worry about it. But yeah, it's exciting times. I'm looking forward to it. I learned a lot with this posing, a lot with the session that I've had. So I'm looking forward to implementing it. So that's something that I'm doing as well. I'm posing twice a day from 20 minutes to half an hour. And I film myself all the time because that's what you do when you bodybuild. You pose. But yeah, no, I film myself and I'm just trying to constantly find the best angles. And that's why I've always done that anyway, though, not necessarily with my training too. Just say, look, I think that's a good thing to do, is to film yourself sometimes in your training so you can look back at your form. But yeah, I'm just filming myself a lot. And just go to the gym, find either like a quiet place or go to the gym in the time when there's not many people there. So I can pose in shorts and stuff like that and not be too distracting for people. Do you ever want cats or are you sticking with dogs? To be honest, I would love to have a cat, but the dogs, I tried it a little while back and the dogs didn't react very well. There's lots of kittens around here. Lots of kittens. It's not very good. It's too many stray cats. Literally everybody in my family trains. My brother's massive. He's like 200 pounds or like 6'2", something like that. My dad was a strong man and a power lifter, and he competed at very high levels.
And he's done judo and stuff. Even my mum's always done training too. My uncle in Sweden is like 6'7" and like 250 pounds of beef. So like I have good genetics. So I've always done I've been around. I grew up going to powerlifting meets and strongman competitions and being in gyms basically. How do you push through several leg days a week? I mean, I don't know how I'm going to do it yet because I haven't crossed that bridge yet, but with great difficulty, I guess. It's just pre-workout, go in there, put on music, and just do what I can do. And be realistic that they're probably not going to be the strongest, best sessions. It's just ticking boxes. A lot of it at the moment is just ticking boxes. Like today, I did my quad session, which was nice though. I got up to like 70 kilo front squat, which is like, 150 pounds, something like that. 155 pounds, something like that. For 4 reps and 3 reps, and I haven't front squatted in forever, so I was quite happy with that. But besides that, I started off heavy, and then towards the end, my energy started plummeting because I was hungry too, and I woke up with a headache. So I like towards the middle of the session, it was a struggle. Then I had to do my posing, and then I had to do my intervals on the stairs. It was a fucking struggle. It was hard. Like I really didn't want to do it, but got to do things you got to do. Do I enjoy live streaming more than before? The thing is that I just find live streaming really tiring because I have to like talk and pay attention. So I think that's what it is. I find them like quite exhausting mentally. But I don't mind doing them. It's just not something I want to do all the time because it's just a timing that works out well as well for the audience. It's quite late in the evening for me. It's gone 8 o'clock. It's coming up to 9 o'clock, which is like not that late. But I try to go to bed at like 9:30. Try to be asleep before 10 o'clock because I just wake up so stupid early. But if I live stream earlier, then it's like for the American people, there's not many people who are able to make it. So, is a new posing less strenuous? No, it's different. It's very different because basically you have to just be so tiny through your waist. So whatever you're doing, you're just like, you literally have to vacuum all the time, and then you're twisting in weird ways, and you're like, it's different. It's just completely different, but it's very flowy. It's very kind of like flirty and like a little bit sexy. So it's not as stiff as what figure posing is, but it's very different. It's just not comparable. They're both very difficult. I would say no. Front squats are more quad focused, and you can't go as heavy. Back squats is more like, what's it called, like glutes and hips, depending on glutes and hamstrings, depending on your stance. So you're tall as well. I'm 6'2", but my daughters are too. I'm tall yet. It's a low-key bummer. Yeah, both my female cousins in Sweden, they don't actually train. Well, one of them did for a while, but they are really tall. From the prospective bodybuilders, would they need to progress from bikini to wellness, then figure, or does it completely depends on your body type? And yeah, that's it. So I would say, like, doing figure, if you're naturally really petite, is never going to happen, because even all the drugs in the world probably means that it's unlikely that you're just a genetic responder to gear. So you would have to take a lot of gear to grow. Wellness, you just have to do if you're just more pear-shaped naturally. I think figure is good for women that tend to be a bit more straight up and down, because they kind of like that more straight physique. They don't want too many curves. You're kind of straight. But a lot of that is just down to also like how much muscle you build naturally, because obviously none of these women are natural. Even many bikini women are not natural. But you know that it's just you have to work with what you have, and you can try and push it further, but you're never gonna. You can only take your physique where it wants to go, and I think it's a misconception that people think that like, oh, if you take loads of gear you're gonna get massive. It's like, no, not necessarily, because a lot of male physique competitors take a lot more gear than like the open men bodybuilders. It's just that the open men bodybuilders are freaks and genetic freaks, and they just respond to gear as well as being massive. So you can try and front squat by putting like a towel or something around it and holding that up, or you can do this, but it's not the same. Like I do it like this as well, but it does hurt after a while. Yeah, they do hurt, front squats.
Did I do a lot of yoga in the past? I haven't done a lot of yoga. I have done yoga, and I think yoga is very good for people that weight train because it stretches out the muscles that could normally get compressed. But I have done it. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I do like doing it as part of like dynamic stretching to warm up, to flow through yoga poses, or just to finish with some yoga poses to again stretch out. Does anybody else have any other questions? I'm sure you do. I have some of my tea here. What's my weight? I weighed 72.7 kilos this morning, but I was 72.5 yesterday. And the day before that was 72.2, so like I've gained weight, but then I've been sleeping poorly. So I think that's why, because I know I haven't cheated on my diet, so it must be cortisol or something like that. But yeah, pickled hobbits. I like your name, and welcome to the live. I'm probably not going to go on for much longer though, maybe like another 10-15 minutes. I don't like to live stream too long, and I need to eat again too before I go to bed. So I knew I wanted to do bodybuilding when I started. Well, you know, when on Instagram it was up and coming, and the fitness influencers maybe like 8 years ago, something like that, during the shreds time. If you remember all of that, like Paige Hathaway and all of that. I was never really into Paige Hathaway. I always really liked Andrea Brasilia, whatever her name was, the tiny one, the short one. She's Brazilian, but she is in Dubai. She has a gym with her husband there, and I always thought her physique was beautiful. She competed in WBFF as well, and I saw her, and then I started following her, like Larissa Rice and like other models of that time that were really popular. And I was like, yeah, I want to look like that. And then I started training, and then I realized that unless I commit to a show, I would never succeed in getting to that level that I want to get to. And yeah, I've just been doing it ever since, basically. You mentioned anime. What's your favorite one, or the last one you watched? Actually, I almost finished Demon Slayer that I've been dipping in and out of. But sometimes it appears on my Netflix and other times it doesn't. So this is why. So I almost finished that. And I also watched as well on Netflix, like the one where it's like the gods, the gods fighting the humans, like the Battle of Ragnarok or something like that. That's all right. What do I like? I like most sort of like shonens, to be honest. Anything that has like fighting and battles and overcoming and obstacles and getting stronger, nakama, that sort of stuff, basically. How far do you stretch each muscles? And is it straight after training or at the end of the day? How long do I stretch? I actually do more pre-workout stretching than post-workout stretching. I'll only do post-workout stretching if I feel really achy, but I find I benefit more from pre-workout stretching because it just helps my workout more. But I don't always have time for this, so sometimes I do it in the afternoon after my second cardio session. Normally, if I stretch, I maybe stretch for like 10 to 20 minutes. It really depends on how achy I am, to be honest. I recommend an anime called Erase on Netflix. I'll have to check it out. Do you ever have men give you tips? No, not really. I'm kind of like unapproachable though in the gym because I'm just really in the zone. Like when if I'm in the gym, I'm there to train, and I train. I'm that person that's just training and that's like grunting through reps because I'm always pushing myself. Not every set and every rep, but I'm just kind of like really in that zone when I'm training, so I don't really get approached. Plus, like I know what I'm doing, so they don't need to. If I get chatted up in the gym, yeah, that does happen. Like that has happened before. Plenty of men like muscular women. No, it's a strange concept to some, but no, like yeah, plenty of men. Trust me, plenty of men like muscular women. It's not that far fetched. Meal prep book for my air fryer recipes. Maybe at some point. I haven't got that many yet though, but I could do at some point. Recommend Nordic. Yeah, there's anything Nordic to recommend. So there's that. There was
there was a Viking anime that was pretty good about some boy who lost his father and then he went on the enemy ship. What the fuck was that called now? And then he grew up with him and he was going to avenge his dad. That was really good. Is it Asgard? No. I can't remember what it's called, but it was a good anime though. Do you ever have people out in public trying to feel your muscles? Sometimes. Yeah. It sometimes it happens. It's not often, but it actually happened the other day when I went to buy fish. The guy came around the counter and he's just like, "You train?" I'm like, yeah. So the fact he's like, he showed me his muscle. I'm like, yeah, fitness basically. And he's like, how to feel. So it does, yeah, Vinland Saga. That's it. Pickled Hobbits, Vinland Saga. That's it. Yes, it does happen sometimes. It's not often though. Like it's not like a regular thing that happens, but a couple of times a year that does. For a normal person, is it common to build muscle and gain a wee bit of body fat? Realistically, you need to, normally speaking, you do need to have some body fat in order to build. You can't be in too much of a caloric restriction unless you're new to training or you're supplementing. But normally speaking, if you're in a calorie restriction, you can't build. But I don't know if you necessarily need to gain fat. It depends on how much body fat you have already at the time. How long will I be in Romania? I'm probably going to go up on a Monday and come back on a Monday for the simple reason that I don't want to be doing too much traveling during my peak week. I'd rather be traveling whilst I'm carb loading as well because I'll have the energy to drive. That drive to Sofia when I was dehydrating was a nightmare. Really, one of the most difficult drives of my life. I was so tired. And I also I kind of want to turn that into like a little bit of a holiday. So I don't want to compete and then come back the next day. I'll compete on the Friday. Then it's the Saturday and the Sunday is like the expo and the pro shows. So maybe I'll go and check some of that out. Maybe try and meet some people from Romania that are subscribers. Just have a look around Bucharest. So maybe other places. Take the dogs for a walk and then drive back on the Monday. That's the plan. First of all, thank you for sharing your journey with us. Your videos always keep me in check and motivate the crap out of me. Do you think you would ever want to become a competition coach? No. I've helped Lego out before, but that was under special circumstances. But for the most part, no, because it's really difficult. Like peaking physiques, it's a science. It's very difficult. And people that are in prep usually are pretty hard work. They get very insecure. They don't know, that they're worried. Now you get the show day, all of that. So I would have to. It's something you would have to. I think it's better to do that kind of stuff in person. Maybe at some point when I'm like getting to a certain age where I won't compete anymore, and I have enough competition experience, then maybe. Because there would definitely be a market for it here in Bulgaria because all the prep coaches are male and there is no figure women. So I could potentially look to, and it's up and coming. People do fitness here. They're really into the fitness, actually, into the training, more men than women, but it's up and coming. So maybe there is potentially a gap in the market, but God knows if I will stay here that long. I don't know. That's a problem for another day. Have you ever been to England? Yeah, I lived in England for 15 years. I lived in England for 15 years. So, yes, I competed. All my other shows have been in England, basically. Have you been able to make more friends? Yeah, I have. I wouldn't necessarily say the girl that I met at the show, I'm friendly with her. I need to meet her a bit more because I've only met her like twice, the Saturday and the Sunday. So, I've met her. There's another guy that I kind of know. That's like a friend. That's like Eva's friend's brother, but they are not friends. But I talk to him sometimes. He's a nice guy. He's helping me out quite a bit with some things if I need some help. He's into bodybuilding, but not like competing or building himself. He just likes the sport of bodybuilding. So getting there. But I'm not look, guys, I'm not an overly social person. I'm quite antisocial, in fact. Not in a rude way. I just like being on my own. I don't usually like a lot of social interaction. Oh, and Velika, of course. Velika. I keep putting the emphasis on her name in the wrong place. So she's actually coming around to more on her training, and I make protein pancakes for breakfast and stuff like that. So yeah, I do
I'm starting to get more into having a bit of social life, but that's fine for me. Like I don't want to have like I'm not super sociable. I never I was in my 20s more so, but they like partying, you know what I mean. It's different. I like that you're shaking up Bulgaria. Have you ever thought about writing a book? No, not really. How's your fingernail? To be honest, like my butcher's job or whatever you call it is working. Actually, it's no longer hurting either. So, I don't know if I'm introverted or outroverted because extroverted. Because like obviously I put myself on YouTube, which is an extroverted thing to do. But then I don't know. I think I just like to be on my own for a lot of the time. Like if people talk to me, I'm not rude or anything. I'm always like nice and friendly and smiley and stuff. But at the same time, like I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way either, unless it's like I want to talk to somebody. You know, it's a bit like that. Velika. I will get the hang of it. I promise. Because it's annoying when people don't get you know right. I'm extroverted with people that I'm comfortable with. Yeah, extrovert. Kevin is introvert. Yeah, Kevin is introvert. I can be introverted. I don't know. I think I'm just not. The thing is, I think I don't fake interest when I don't have it. I think it's more that. So if I'm interested in somebody, then I'll go out of my way to talk to them and like find things out about it. I don't like small talk. I think that's more it. Like I just don't see the point of it. It's like I don't really like the reality is like you don't really care about me. I don't really care about how your day is. So why do we have to pretend to have this conversation? It's like we don't really care. We're just making conversation because it's like the socially correct thing to do in this particular situation. It's like I'd rather just not because why, you know? I think it's more that. You're a very likable person. Your channel is very enjoyable with your two amazing dogs. Do you have a boyfriend? I hope you don't mind me asking. Matthew, no. I'm divorced, so no. At the moment, I'm single and I'm not in a rush to run into anything. But if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It is what it is. So to compete in bikini category, you can't be 5'7", or it's not just height. No, you can be 5'7", but it's you can be 5'7". You can be taller than that. It's just most women are not. But then most women are not 5'7". I think the average height for a woman is like 5'4" to 5'6". That's like a fairly average height. So if you're taller than that, then you're just automatically going to stick out. Would you ever do cosplay? I actually have done cosplay. One of the shows they had like theme rounds, and I cosplayed as a character from Street Fighter. Can't even remember the name now. I would look, if I had the skills for sewing, I probably would do cosplay because it is fun, but I'm not skilled enough for that. Matthew is a newbie. Welcome, Matthew. Yes. I can fix my own PC. Matthew is new. I think he's been in my comment section for like maybe a month or so. If even that. A couple of weeks. A month or so. Because I recognize from the vlogs, I always recognize the comment section people that do that comment. Any event in real life where your strength saved the day, like breaking a car door, lifting a car, maybe fighting off a criminal. Well, besides carrying groceries and being able to just lift things in general, like emergency-wise, no. Luckily, touch wood. Luckily, no. The feathers, yeah. That's not really cosplay. I suppose it is. That was my interpretation of the Morrigan. She is the goddess of death, war and death. And I was like, she sounds like a fun person. Irish old god. Lifting. The thing is, though, is like people when they have like there's stories of mothers doing that with their babies, don't they? When their kids are in car accidents and then suddenly they get this superhuman strength from adrenaline. I don't know is that urban legend though, or does that actually happen? Like I don't know to what extent adrenaline can make a difference. I know it can suppress pain, but can it actually make you superhuman? I don't know. Maybe it should. I don't think you should be straightforward into extrovert or introvert. There's always 50-50 periods, and when you do competitions all the time, it's quite normal to not be able to hang out with people. Yeah, but I'm kind of like that anyway, though. Like prepping or not prepping, I think that when I'm prepping, I just get tired. Like I sometimes just generally don't have the energy to see people. But I'm not an overly social person. Like I like to meet people, but sometimes it's nice to have social interaction. But I'm not. You know how some people just need to see people every single day or go out every single weekend. That's not really me. Anyway, guys, it's been an hour, so I'm gonna go because I want to eat again, and it's like coming up to my bedtime. As you can tell, I'm getting yawny. Oh, I did a fake. I started. I was gonna do a fake yawn, and then that became a real yawn. But I am feeling a bit yawny, so I need to eat and basically get into bed and be ready before 7 o'clock tomorrow. And Velika is coming around, and then we're gonna go for a walk. I'm vlogging as well, everything, by the way. Maybe not the dog walk because it's annoying, but we're training and everything. So look forward to that. And yeah, I will see you all later. Have a nice weekend. Thank you all for joining. I appreciate it. And I'll do one of these again. Well, the next one will probably be on my birthday, to be fair. 4th of November. It's not so far away. Just over 3 weeks. So I'll see you then, probably. Bye. Well, you see videos before then, but you know what I mean. Have a good one, guys.